guys, I know, right? It's been too long, but I'm back. I'm back with Sweet Child of Mine, and I'm gonna do this in segments because I've written 2 sheets of tab, guys. So that's too much for anyone to learn, so we're gonna learn it bit by bit. And eventually, at the end of this project of videos, we're gonna put it all together, so they'll be singing and they'll be picking as well. So from this video, you can expect to learn the finger picking pattern, which will just be... Note that I started that without a chord on. So with a chord on, it sounds like this. You can start to hear the song already, right? Or I can. Anyway, I'll sing it out to you in a minute. So you'll learn the finger picking pattern, and you're also going to learn the tune of the verse. So she's got eyes of the bluest skies, etc. So yeah, that's what you can expect from me today. Let's start with the finger picking pattern. If you don't want to know it, then I'll pop a little time index here so that you know where to skip to. But we're going to just drill this finger picking pattern to start with, because this is what you're going to use throughout the entire song. So it would be going, sorry, this is me trying to remember the lyrics off the top of my head. Yeah. She's got eyes of the bluest skies, as if they thought of rain. I'd hate to look into those eyes and see an ounce of rain. So that's what we're aiming for, alright? So before we do all of this with the left hand, forget the chords for the time being, and you'll probably be forgetting the chords, well, ignoring the chords, not forgetting them, but ignoring them for a good week or 2, depending on how often you finger pick. If finger picking is completely new to you, it could take a month, alright? And that is normal, that is okay. Let's manage expectations here and let's be kind to ourselves. So your pattern is going to be go any further, I just want to remind you that I am using Pima fingers, okay? So that just means my thumb is on my E, my A, my D string, my index is on my G, my middle is on my B, and my ring finger is on my E string. I'm leaning but not pushing, leaning on my little finger. So we call it planting. Think of it like a tree, and that's my trunk. So I'm just plonking it down, not pushing like I said, and that's just my reference point so I can feel where I am. Alright? So rhythmically we're going Jessica dump tea coffee, Jessica dump tea coffee. So make sure your dump, I love that word, is longer than your other rhythms, because if you look at the score, or the sheet music, sorry, then the tab, the little squiggly bits underneath the lines that you know and love, they are all equal, believe it or not. I know they look like they're not, but they are. They're all quavers or 8th notes. So Jessica and coffee are the same. The T of the dump T is also a quaver or 8th note, so they are all equal. It's only dump that's long. So we could have just gone coffee, tea, fee, coffee, but I thought that was a little bit complicated. But yeah, just remember that Jessica and tea, coffee, all equal. Alright, that's going to help you unravel this mystery, I think. So let's do that again. Jessica dump tea coffee, Jessica dump tea coffee, Jessica dump tea coffee, Jessica dump tea coffee. Alright, and then what you're aiming for finger-wise, you're going thumb, index, thumb, middle, index, thumb, index. And again, a little bit slower. Thumb, index, thumb, middle, index, thumb, index. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and first off to take a breath. Because it's weirdly hard to breathe when I'm counting it at the same time. Okay, I just want to remind you guys, I do not have my left hand on, I do not have any chords on because I am loading this program in. Treat it like that, okay? You are loading it in, you need to get that into your right hand first, then we can put on chords and progress from there. So this bit, to get it to that speed, it might take you a couple weeks, it could take you a month, could take you a couple months. It really does depend on the person and how often you're practicing, all right? And with that said, please be kind to your hand. It's not your hand's fault or your brain's fault if it takes you a little bit longer. It really doesn't matter, it's not a race, okay? It's really not. And so long as you're having fun, we're all having fun, okay? So, you're gonna practice that over and over again. And I'm gonna remind you, you can slow these videos down. Here's the graphic. Just to remind you, this is how you do it. Click on the cog, playback settings. You're going for the speed. 75. Got that, more or less. So say you've been practicing, I'm going to guess, 2 or 3 weeks. You're about there with it, you're pretty good with it. Every now and then you have to look at your hand, but you're pretty good, alright? Then I want you to think about the chords, so you might start by putting one on, so maybe the A. And then you're going to challenge yourself, say, can I get to the G? That might cause you to slow down a little bit, that's fine, absolutely fine. But can you see, with the G, I'm hitting the E string, all right? I'm not hitting the A anymore. I could, and it's okay, but it could be better. It's a little, I don't know, something about it not quite right for me. I would rather have the root note. So we're gonna hit this E string because my left hand, over here on the neck, is on 3rd fret on the E string, the thick E string, and that's gonna give me G. So that's the root of the chord. So it sounds good, that's what we want. Alright, and then once you've got that, maybe you do A to G for a week, and then maybe once you've got that, cycle through them, so the A, the G, and then let's see if we can get to the D. So things change a bit with the D as well, so we can go from the D string instead of the A, because again with the A, bit odd. Okay, it's in the chord, but it's a bit weird, right? Whereas if you stick with the root note of the chord, the D, it sounds a bit more correct. But I agree with you, I know what you're thinking already, it does sound repetitive. So maybe we spread out our claw. I know, right? I know. So we're going to move the index in the middle down because they're the ones that have learnt the pattern. This ring finger over here, it didn't learn the pattern, but these guys did. They're working as a team, so they might just figure that out without you having to tell them at all. So try not to over-engineer this one with the D, guys. Remember, you can keep it there, doesn't have to move at all. This is all up to you and your ear, what you prefer, okay? But if you feel that's a bit too repetitive, then you're just gonna go, okay, right, that's how they've learnt, jump them down one. Like I said, don't over-engineer it, try and trust your hand, because once that pattern is in that hand, it should be able to work it out. And it might slip up a little bit at first, and that's absolutely natural. Let it, okay? You will learn from your mistakes. So, by now, you know how to fingerpick it, and that's going to help you out massively throughout the next couple tutorials. So let's get you back to picking the melody. Okay then, let's jump into the verse. Now ordinarily I would play an A like this, all in a line, and I might use my little finger for the freeze in bar 1 and bar 2 like this. But I think that's asking a little bit too much of most people to be able to get your little finger just working like that straight out the bat, you know. Let's just reserve that if people would like to try with their little finger. All those little frees are going to be done with the little finger, but we are going to look at it as if we're playing A like that. So we're not worried about this finger because we don't need it, or this note I should say. We do need the finger, and we're going to use that ring finger to get our freeze. So we'll go. So that's what we're going to aim for, okay? Because I think that's going to help most people and be achievable for most people. So let's talk about the rhythm then. So you'll notice all the strange words underneath, the fee, the tea, the coffee, the Jessica. The coffee is when we have a pair of quavers or eighth notes, and if they're cut in half, then you'll have either cough or you'll have fee. So you can hear C here, we're starting with fee, so we'll have a fee, tea, tea, fee, tea, tea. So the fee is quick, the tea is not. The tea is a crotchet or a quarter note. So fee, tea, tea, Jessica, fee, tea, tea, Jessica. And sometimes I pull that free off, pull it back to 2. I quite like doing that. Remember, you just pluck the string once, and it's all in the other hand to pull it off. So it takes a little bit of practice. Hammering on is the opposite. Pluck it, hammer on. But we're not hammering on, we're just pulling off. So let's do that one together then. So bar 1, let's go slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fee, tea, tea, Jessica. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fee, tea, tea, Jessica. Don't worry if your K of your Jessica is a little quiet at the minute. That's fine, it's because you're concentrating. See, if this one isn't putting any pressure down, you'll get this. There we go, that's more like it. Where it's kind of hit and miss. Sometimes it works and sometimes it's just wishy-washy. We don't want that. Alright, let's do bar 1 into bar 2, but I will play bar 2 first for you. And again, you've got fees to start on. Sorry about that. I'm keeping the shape down because we've just been there. So our 2 is there with our middle finger. We're going to put the ring finger back on with our fee, T, then back to the middle finger and another pull off because I thought, why not? To pull that middle finger off of the 2 on the B string and pluck the index. So again, coming from that position, we've just had the 3 in the previous bar, and we're going fee, T, dum, T, T. And again, fee, T, dum, T, T. Alright, and of course rewind that as many times as you like, but I like to learn phrases as they lie together. I think it goes in your head a bit quicker. So let's do bar 1 into bar 2 very slowly. Take your time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fee, tea, tea, Jessica, fee, tea, dum, tea, tea. You know, I've only just realised I've been singing those. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fee, tea, tea, Jessica, fee, tea, dum, tea, tea. Super duper. Alright, so that's that first opening phrase, if you like. So of course, rewind, 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 get it in your head. A quick little note before I move from this position. You might have noticed I put it down immediately. I didn't start like that. That's for my security. I feel better if I have a shape down, especially if I'm coming to a shape anyway. So I would rather not go, because this kind of thing happens. You know, you start to worry, you start to pluck other strings, maybe you sort of almost get a ghost note as you're approaching it or as you're settling them in. I would rather they just get settled in. And besides, that allows me to work on arching correctly. If I'm not arching correctly, by the way, that means that my fingers have gone a bit flat and they're catching. So you'll get that. And you don't want that, believe me. So it's good for you to practice. And a final top tip, because I'm giving all the tips away today. Don't hold your guitar like it's a cricket bat or a baseball bat or any kind of bat. You want some space. Can you see there's space in here? And that just allows me to move, you know. I don't want to be gripping too hard because that's when that happens. So you want a nice arch there. Alright then, so moving on to bar 3, we're coming from this shape, so the index is on 2nd fret on the G, the middle is on 2nd fret on the B, and we're going to get our ring finger over to 3, and our middle finger is going to travel like that. So we've come from here, ring finger in front of the middle on the B string, now on 3rd fret, and as if you're coming into a G chord, this 3 is going to go down. This 2 isn't going to come down, because we want to use the 2 over there on the G string. And I hesitate there because this is an optional one for you guys. I thought about putting this one in. It's in the melody, but you don't have to. You could just use an open G. Let's play it so you see what I mean. So we'd go. So it's that takes me away. So it's the of the away. But it works and is easier to play if you leave it open. So that would be a. And I know that sounds weird, but when you're in the throes of it, guys, you might prefer it to have it open rather than the two. You might also get a pull off by accident, like that, which I quite like. I think it's a nice little happy mistake. But for those of you that can't stand it going wrong, you might, like I said, you just might not want to do that two on the G string. You might prefer an open note instead. So your choice, basically, whichever one you want to do. I'm going to stick with the hard option because it's good for me. And maybe I'll learn from it. But like I said, this two with the index finger can be open. It can be an open G because the chord is a G. Alright then, so this bar then, bar 3, we're going Jessica, John, T. So John is a long note. It's a dotted crotchet or a dotted quarter note, which means it's worth 1.5 beats. Let's count that bar because that might make a bit more sense to you guys if I do. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and let's do it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and gosh, that really does get your brain going. It's like patting your head and rubbing your tummy at the same time. Which is why I chose in the end to go, you know, mostly with Jessica, John, T. And remember, these words are to help you get familiar with these rhythms. You can just think of the song in your head if it helps. And, you know, like I sang earlier, what was it? Takes me away to that. And then, you know, we're going to be going to special place and ever, etc. Alrighty then, let's have a go at playing this together then. Bar 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jessica, John, T. And again, so I want to brainwash you a little bit, get it in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jessica, John, T. Okay then, bar 4. So you've got your ring finger still down on your B string, 3rd fret. Your middle finger is still on this G over here, 3rd fret on the E string. Your index, if it was ever on the G string, is no longer there, it's on the B string. That's everybody, okay? All the optional notes are now gone, sorry. So we're going for a ring to an index and we want to hold this 3 down. I know it looks like it's a quick one because it's showing it as a quaver or an 8th note, but please hold it down. Otherwise you get, which is very dramatic but unnecessary. So hold it down so it sounds very nice. I know it's more of a finger workout, but it's better. It just sounds better. It rings on. So the rhythm here, we're starting with Fee again. So we've got Fee, tea, dump, tea, coffee. Fee, tea, dump, tea, coffee. And I'm doing all of that with my middle finger if you're curious, all on the B string. Alright, and then let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fee, tea, dump, tea, coffee. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fee, tea, dump, tea, coffee. Alright, and I'll do it with counting as well. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and let's see if I can do that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and alright, let's get bar 3 into bar 4. And you're gonna love bar 5. It's lovely. Alright, bar 3. So again, same shape. Now, if your hand is starting to ache, please take it off for a minute. Just give it a little wiggle like this. Give it some love. If you need to massage your wrist, go for it. But Can't stress enough, sometimes you hold these things down, you don't even realise it until you move your hand. You think, oh, I'm fine, it doesn't hurt. And then you take it off and you go, ooh, I can feel that in my knuckles. So yeah, just have a little rest every now and then. Alright, bar 3 into bar 4. Couldn't count for a minute there. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. Jessica, John, tea, fee, tea, dum, tea, coffee. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jessica, John, tea, fee, tea, dum, tea, coffee. Oh, you're gonna love this one, guys. Alright, bar 5 into bar 6. I've got D2 down, which is D major without the middle finger. So ring finger is on 3rd fret on the B, index finger is over there on 2nd fret on the G string, and we're just going to go T, 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 coffee. Alright, so essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Just really friendly. That gloopy looking 7 is a quaver rest or an 8th note rest. That's the cough of the coffee, if you were curious. Because I know there's some curious types out there. I see you in the comments. So let's give this bar a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tea, 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 coffee. And again, so that you can, get that action in, because you've got a little fee with your index finger over there on your right hand. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tea, 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 coffee. Okay then, and into bar 6 we're going coffee, dum, tea, John. Coffee, dum, tea, John. Let's do that again, but this time together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coffee, dump, tea, John. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coffee, dump, tea, John. Alright, here's the challenge. Can we go bar 5 into bar 6? I believe we can, so let's do it. So we've still got that D2 shape down. Just leave it down. We'll have a break in a minute and relax the hand. Here we go. So from bar 5, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and tea, 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 coffee, coffee, dump, tea, John. Let's do it again. I bet you're doing well. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tea, 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 coffee, coffee, dump, tea, John. And you can hear we're nearly there, aren't we? We're nearly there because we need a sky. I'm going to take this opportunity to encourage you to have a break, and I'm going to check the tuning of this guitar because that's starting to sound a bit out on the B string. Alrighty, back in tune now. Let's look at bar 7. So bar 7, we've just come from D2, remember D major with the middle finger lifted, and we're going to just go splat, to be honest, with our index. That's what we're aiming for. So you can hear I'm doing a nice little pull off there as well. I love a good pull off, honestly. I just like the smoothness of it. So it'll be my ring finger on my 3. This is how we start. This is starting position from the previous bar with that John. And then you're just gonna go from the arch, slightly flatten, push it up, leave the ring finger where it is. So again, from D2, ignore this guy as much as you can. Push him up, flatten. All right, and then we're pulling off. And then you don't have to really think about, where's the 2? Because you've got all the 2s covered. So you're just thinking, which string is it? So that bar, we're going ring finger, pulling off. So in terms of fingers, let's bring this guy up a little bit closer to you guys. We're going middle, pulling off, index, middle, index, thumb, index. And one more time to brainwash you. Alright, let's play it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coffee, tea, dum, tea, coffee. Got well into it then. I wanted to keep going. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. coffee, tea, dum, tea, coffee. And you know, for those who like to count, let's give you some numbers as well. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I know I'm speeding up, so slow version. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coffee, tea, dum, tea, coffee. And then that last bar, you'll already know because you've loaded in the fingerpicking pattern. So you just leave down this bar day and load in the fingerpicking pattern. And then from there, you would go back into the song with the words. Could be verse 1, could be verse 2. And what I tend to do, because this can be a painful shape to hold for too long, I'll start like that, maybe do the first bar like that, and then move back into my normal way. So in other words, the very last quaver, the very last 8th note, that last 2, that T, I might just ignore it. I might turn the cough into a T, in other words. I will turn that quaver on the 4th beat into a crotchet. 8th note into a quarter note. I hope that makes sense. So I'll go Jessica dum T T, and then I'm back into the main one. So it's just enough to give me time to swap from that, which is quite a bit of pressure on my finger and my hand. Alright? Top tips, all of it. Alright, rest the hand. We're going all the way through. You've done marvellously. Right, we're starting index on the G string, 2nd fret, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the B string. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Alrighty, so you've now gone all the way through the verse, which is brilliant. So you've got the verse melody locked in, you've also got the fingerpicking pattern. So I would encourage you at this point to probably have a go at just following a nice easy tab. I say tab, I mean lead sheet, you know, lyrics and chords, and just see if you can play it and maybe hum it at the same time. So you have a easier to hum it. Humming is good for you too, medically. It's true. It's proven now, which is incredible. 10 minutes a day, they say. There you go. You get all kinds of advice from me. But anyway, try that. If you really, you know, are completely new to singing and picking at the same time, definitely try humming it first. But the main thing is that has to be instinctual. It's got to be loaded in. If it's not loaded in, this is going to keep crunching and you're going to feel like you're getting nowhere. So please take the time, get the finger picking pattern in your head, then get the chords on. So this could literally take you 2 months, guys. It could take you longer. Only once you've got all of that working together, so it's second nature, then start the humming. Trust me, just hum it, okay? Once you got the humming, then try the lyrics. And of course, you don't actually have to do any of the singing because that's why we're doing all this picking. So you have options. You can just do the melody. And in the next video, you'll be learning the chorus. Etc. Alright? So I will see you in the next one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!